RamiX back with another video. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Share the video to a friend who likes what ifs or just anime content in general. Comment down below your thoughts and feelings about the video or any what if suggestions that you may have. And with that being said, we can now begin the video. What if Naruto was a mercenary? Part 1. Now, it could be the movie, depending on how you are watching this video, but for the sake of it, this is part 1. Now, how exactly does Naruto, the knuckle-headed ninja, become a mercenary? So in this timeline, Naruto is going to have an uncle that he does not have in the original timeline. Not only is he going to have an uncle, but his uncle is going to be a renowned shinobi with a secret. And you'll understand what I mean in a second. His uncle is going to be named Juno Namikaze, and he is going to be known as the 4th Hokage's younger brother. Not only is Juno going to be a renowned shinobi, but at the time when Minato was being considered for the position of Hokage, Juno would also be being considered for the position of Hokage. Now, the thing about that is that Juno couldn't become Hokage because he was far too young. At the time when Minato was, becoming Hokage, Juno was 6 years younger than Minato, which means if Minato was around 20 years old when he became Hokage, or at least it's theorized that he was in his early 20s, then Juno was about 14, 15, so it didn't even make sense, and he was far too young to lead an entire village. With that being said, what I'm trying to say is, the same way that Fugaku was being considered, Minato was being considered, even Orochimaru was being considered, Juno was up there too. He would be known as the Red Fang of the Leaf, similarly to Kakashi Hatake's father, Sakamo Hatake, the White Fang. Now with that being said, when Minato died, Juno was a full-blown adult, meaning that he was 18 years old. When Minato died, he was 24. With that being said, that means that he could fully adopt Naruto, and on the night of the Nine-Tails attack, not only is Kakashi going to be protecting Kushina, not only is Hiruzen going to be there for Minato's basically final breaths, but also Juno will be. Juno, Kakashi, and Hiruzen are all going to find themselves in the area with Minato and Kushina in their final breath. As Minato seals half of the Nine-Tails into himself, and the other half into Naruto, into a baby Naruto, Minato begs Juno to raise his son. Juno, what is it, big brother? I've got something to tell you. Well, spit it out already. It looks like you're not long for this world. Yeah, it seems that way. Why'd you have to go and do that, big bro? You always told me that you'd stick around to see me take your place as Hokage. And now here you are in your deathbed. Yes, if I could have it some other way, I would. But it seems that we were unprepared to deal with Madara Uchiha. That's the thing. Do you really think that it was Madara who attacked tonight? Out of all the shinobi, Madara Uchiha, the one who should be dead, who fought alongside Hashirama Senju? Yes, that's the only man who would be capable of doing all of this, and you know that well enough. Yes, but I'm still on the fence about it. I don't think it's Madara. Juno, I know, we don't have time to bicker about if it's Madara or not. What is it that you need, big brother? I need you to raise Naruto for me. Juno paused. You mean me? You realize I just became an adult. Yes, I understand that a kid has a lot of responsibility. I also understand that you never wanted kids in the first place. Not only that, I continuously have told you throughout our entire lives that I never even want a family, and you expect me to raise some child? I know. It's not fair to you. It's not fair to put all of this burden on my little brother. Minato began to profusely cough up blood. Juno stared at him intently. Half of his face showed anger, the other half showed sadness. Minato grew up with Juno and practically raised him. So Minato was basically the only person he truly cared about in his life. And now he was watching Minato die right in front of him. Juno. I understand. I will raise Naruto. If that's really what you want, then consider it done. He'll be taken care of. He'll know how important his mother was, and how much of a great shinobi his father was. He'll know the things that both of you did to protect the village. Kushina smiled gently at Juno, whispering thank you. Most of her strength had begun to fade. Minato then continued. There are a few things that you should know. Yes? What is it, big brother? If you don't mind, I've instructed a toad to carry Naruto's seal. To carry Naruto's seal? Yes, in other words, if you contact it, you will be able to release the Nine Tails. Now why on earth would I want to do that, big brother? If the village is ever to be protected from Madara Uchiha, we will need to be able to harness the power of the Nine Tails. You must teach Naruto how to control the power. Are you serious? You want me to teach Naruto how to control that monster? It's the only way. Is it? Is it really the only way, big brother? Yes. Now then. I'm trusting you with the rest. You didn't even tell me what toad. Just go to Mount Miyaboku. You've already mastered Sage Mode, haven't you? You say that like it's so difficult to find a toad. But brother! But what about... He realized that the life had faded from Minato. The Reaper had taken its cost. Juno, Kakashi, and Hiruzen sat in silence. The silence broke as Juno began approaching a baby Naruto, taking him from the arms of a fading Kushina, and using the body flicker jutsu to disappear. He now sat with Naruto in a nearby desolate training ground. He and Minato had trained here several times as they grew up, but he had never imagined being here without Minato. It was their spot. Now a baby Naruto was here. A baby? Minato expects me to care for a goddamn newborn? Are you serious? Always putting burdens on me. Is that why you made me join the Anbu? To teach me how to be a better parent? That doesn't even make sense. You probably had this plan the whole time. You knew you were gonna die as soon as Naruto was born and then stick him on me. Huh. Payback for... Juno realized how delusional he sounded. Of course Minato didn't want this. Of course Minato wanted to be the one to raise his son. Of course Minato wanted to be there for his child. He then soon began to accept his responsibility. After that, After his realization, he quickly pulled out a piece of paper that he kept in a side bag, as he began to write a formal message to the third Hokage. Dear Lord Third, I am submitting my official resignation from the Anbu Black Ops. During my time, I have went on over 203 different Anbu missions, with a success rate of 97%. It has been an honor to serve the Leaf Village as a member of the Anbu, but I am now requesting to resign. Because of this, I understand that certain privileges that I have as being an Anbu will be taken away from me. I do not expect to continue receiving pay, but I will continue to serve as a Jonin, if possible. I will also be adopting Naruto. I wish to honor my brother in any way that I can, and raising Naruto is the best way to do that. If you may have it, I wish to be the sole caregiver, or rather, caretaker of Naruto Uzumaki. I wish to be the only one who teaches him, trains him, and I wish for him not to join the Standard Academy program. As Minato's son, I hope that you entrust me to train him, and once he is finally trained up and eligible to become a genin or join a ninja squad, you accept. Juno wasn't really good with words, but he wrote out the message as best he could, touching on many other things that there's no need to say. With that being said, he ended up sending the message to Lord Third as quick as he could, using the body flicker jutsu with a baby Naruto in his other arm and the note in the other, leaving the note posted on the outside of the Hokage glass so that Hiruzen would either see it coming back to the Hokage office or see it while he's literally in and just looks out and sees that there's a paper literally on the window. With that being said, a few years would pass, and on the outskirts of the hidden Leaf Village, a secluded compound nestled in the dense forest housed two figures. The elder of the two, a man with striking red hair and piercing eyes. On his back was a Tonto blade, and on his side he wielded another sword. The man had an elegance that betrayed his brutal moniker. The man was known as Juno the Red Fang, and beside him was a young boy with unruly blonde hair and blue eyes, and even whiskers, that watched intently. They both stared at a fire that was sat in front of them as they absorbed every moment together. Juno then stood up as he began to slightly train, practicing his swordsmanship. Naruto continued watching the fire, and then his eyes darted to watching Juno. He absorbed every movement, every nuance of the man's technique. This boy was Naruto Uzumaki, raised not by the village, but by his enigmatic uncle, Juno Namikaze. Juno was half Uchiha and half Namikaze, a secret that was kept even from the highest ranks of Konoha. His mastery of both swordsmanship and chakra control made him a formidable Jonin and Anbu operative. Yet beyond his fearsome reputation laid a man devoted to the upbringing of his nephew, ensuring Naruto was not only a skilled mercenary, a skilled ninja, a skilled shinobi, a man of honor, but also aware of his heritage and the burden that he carried as the Nine-Tailed Jinchuriki. "Naruto," Juno called out, sheathing his deep breath and focus. "Your chakra control is the foundation of everything we do." Naruto nodded, his young face serious beyond his years. He had spent his childhood training under Juno's rigorous guidance, honing his skills far from the watchful eyes of the village. "Yes, Uncle Juno," Naruto replied, his voice steady. Juno watched his nephew with a mixture of pride and caution. He knew the immense power locked within Naruto, the nine-tailed fox that had brought so much destruction and had taken the life of his sister-in-law and his very own older brother. Juno had had taken it upon himself to teach Naruto control, to harness the beast's power rather than be consumed by it. Juno took a deep breath in. Your father, Minato Namikaze, was known as the fourth Hokage, Juno continued. He was a genius, better than I ever was. But better than you? Are you serious? Absolutely. He was chosen to lead the village over I. You wanted to become Hokage, Uncle Juno? It was a dream. Briefly, yes. Is that a problem? No, I'm just surprised is all. Well, don't be. Actually, he was a hero of the Great Ninja War. The enemy gave him a run-on-sight order because of his incredible speed and strength. He was the Yellow Flash of Konoha, the Yellow Flash of the Leaf. Naruto's eyes sparkled with awe. I want to be just like him, Uncle Juno. I want to surpass him and become Hokage one day. Juno placed a hand on Naruto's shoulder, his gaze intense. You have the potential, Naruto. But remember, the path to greatness is filled with difficult choices and sacrifices. There's a reason that I don't stand here today as the fifth Hokage of the Hidden Leaf Village. In the absence of my elder brother, as much as I had wanted to become Hokage, I was too faint-hearted. I chose you over the village. Do you understand that? You mean you gave up your dream for me? I don't want that. Follow your dreams, Uncle Juno. Naruto, it's far too late to change my mind. And even if Hiruzen did randomly decide he wanted to step down and let me take his place, not only are there many other Jonin around the village that could be better suited, heck, there's always Jiraiya, Kakashi, you get the point. But the fact is, I don't want the job anymore. I made Minato a promise to raise you. I wouldn't be able to do that as Hokage. It's just not possible. I will spend every waking moment I have training you to be better, because that was the promise I gave to my brother. So it's not about what you want, Naruto. I promised your father this. I will make right on it as his younger brother. I understand, Uncle Juno, but still, it sucks that you have to abandon your dream just to take care of me. Yes, it is quite unfortunate, the way in which the world works. Anyways, I have something important to tell you, Naruto. You see, Juno was an interesting man. Many people suspected things of him, but it wasn't until one mission where Juno had believed that there were no survivors that Juno's secret had been revealed to someone high up within Konoha. You see, Danzo had secretly infiltrated the actual Anbu Black Ops unit outside of his route. Meaning that he had someone who was in the regular Anbu Black Ops unit, but was secretly working for him en route. This person was telling Danzo, this Anbu, whose name was Shimura, was telling Danzo basically everything about Juno. And just relaying information. Of course, Danzo wanted to know about the Hokage's younger brother. Just like anyone would want to know, right? Just in this case, Danzo has a fascination with him, and suspects, because of his very, very well proficiency in Genjutsu, that's something that Juno specializes in. Because of that, he assumes he might be an Uchiha, secretly be an Uchiha. Keep in mind, his hair is black and not blonde like Minato's. They have the same mother, but not the same father. With that being said, Minato never let the secret get out. And Juno hadn't either. But on a mission where he had presumed that all of his fellow Anbu had fallen, he had to use his Sharingan to basically win the fight and, well, kill his attackers. But it had appeared that one of the Anbu had actually seen Juno, if that makes sense, and had relayed this information back to Danzo. With that being said, there were now eyes on him all the time, basically 24/7, and he realized this. With that being said, he continued speaking to Naruto. Now, you see, Naruto, both you and I are very important. My secret is that I am from the Uchiha clan. You mean the one that you were teaching me about the other day? They have the Sharingan and whatnot? Exactly. The problem is that nobody knows about it, and nobody should know about it. It would cause too much tension in the village. Multiple Uchiha and the Anbu, me, Shisui, Itachi. Trust me, it wouldn't be, well, it wouldn't be optimal per se. People would start getting suspicious. Oh, alright. Well, what's the big thing about me then? I don't think that you realize how important it is that you are the Jinchuriki of the village. The fate of this village constantly rests in your hands. If you abandon the Leaf Village, they would lose much of their physical power and be outweighed by the stronger Cloud Village. Oh, I see. So I maintain the balance. Precisely. That's why learning how to control this power is so crucial. And to defeat a certain someone. Juno was referring to who he believed to be Madara Uchiha or someone else, but wasn't certain and didn't want to necessarily unpack that can of beans on Naruto just yet. With that being said, he continued. There are people who watch me in the village. They don't know what my goal is or what my aim is. I am the one who's raising the Nine-Tails Jinchuriki. And I have a cloudy past. What? What do you mean? When I was younger, like, much younger, I was a mercenary. I did a lot of bad things to a lot of good people. I was a bandit too at one point. Most of the time, I would just drink booze and, well, collect ransom money on basically anyone. I would go from small village to small village, gathering up the civilians and making them pay a tax, or doing just about any scam I could get my hands on with a bunch of, well, at the time, comrades. Minato, like the good big brother he was, got me out of that kind of life. Made me sane again. You see, Minato never really knew his father, but I did. My father had ran away from the village. He didn't want any part to do with the Uchiha clan, and he ended up marrying a woman who was not from any notable clan. Oh, I see. The thing was, eventually, my father died. We had a really strong connection, though. He was the only person who really got me. Not even like my mother could. It was more than that, you know? We connected spiritually almost. And when he passed, I lost a part of myself. Anyways, eventually I ended up, well, for lack of a better word, falling off the rails because of it. Minato pulled me out of the darkness. He didn't have to do that. He was my mother's child. A few years before I was born. My father took care of him, but, well, when he died, someone else came along. His name? Well, I just called him Father. But he was Kalula Namikaze, our father. You mean to tell me that Minato Namikaze isn't really his name? No. Minato Namikaze is not his name. His name is Minato Hyuga. What? Yeah. Does that make me a Hyuga? Yes, it does. But that's besides the point, and we'll talk about that another day. The fact is, Minato took who our mom was seeing at the time and married's last name. And so I did too, and he raised us like we were both his own. And that's why I now go by Juno Namikaze. But, as you can tell, I have quite the suspicious history. Juno began to yawn. And thus we're being watched. If there's ever a time when they suspect me of treason and try to execute me, I urge you to leave the village at all cost. What? But why? If they suspected something like that, they would believe that we were working together because of how close we are. Thus, they would think that you committed a similar sin and would rather have you locked up than leaving the village. That means that they would treat you as a prisoner. Are you serious? Yes. And believe me, you don't want to live that kind of life. I understand, Uncle Juno. So what should I do? Become a bandit like you? You shouldn't become a bandit. When I was a bandit, I was lousy, completely off the rails. I was much more level-headed when I spent my time as a mercenary. I would suggest being a mercenary, doing odd jobs here and there. There's a really popular mercenary that deserted the land of the mist. His name's Zabuzamomochi. If you ever learn what he does, I hear he makes a killing. I was always trying to compete with him. He was always going after all the people in the bingo books that I needed to catch heads with. But anyways, that's enough of a rant. Juno placed his hand on Naruto's shoulder. Like I said, you have the potential to do great things, Naruto. I see. Anyways. With that being said, some more time would pass, and Juno kept training Naruto again and again, until eventually, a couple more years had passed, and Naruto is now 9 years old. At this point, the Uchiha massacre has taken place. And in fact, this was the event that got Juno his Mangekyo Sharingan. Now that we're in the present moment, Naruto is 9 years old, we flash back to the night of the Uchiha massacre when Naruto's about 7 to 8 years old. Juno was seeing someone from the Uchiha clan. Her name was Mahiko. Mahiko is a girl with short dark hair and a spirit like none other. Juno, like any reasonable man in his 20s and no love life, fell head over heels for her. She was so enigmatic that he just couldn't help it. And so he began to date her and love her, and they spent so much time together that they truly had been together. Talked about settling down one day as ninja and having kids. Juno felt a real connection with her. And so, while he was with her one night, she had to step out to run some errands and go to the Uchiha compound. Eventually, Juno got suspicious as she hadn't come back for hours and tracked her location, as he found her body dead and alone. Filled with rage, his Mangekyo Sharingan activated, and although his Mangekyo was active, and although he had so much rage, instead of being able to fight, he was just overtaken with so many emotions that he physically passed out from just emotional exhaustion. And because of this, Obito and Itachi had believed that they had killed him because it looked like he was dead. Looked like he was dead with his lover. They were never in the same spot, so when Itachi had come and seen them, he just thought, oh, Obito had killed them. And when Obito had saw them, he was like, oh, Itachi had killed them. With that being said, they just never questioned it. And that's how he got his Mangekyo Sharingan. Anyways, we flash forward to the present moment. Naruto's now 9 years old. At this point, Sasuke's in the academy. Naruto is not, because, he's not. With that being said, I explained it earlier. I just hope you were listening. With that being said, Juno was acutely aware of the nine tails sealed within Naruto. From an early age, he did teach Naruto many things and how to tap into its power, to control it rather than to be controlled. One day, when Naruto was 7, their training took a dangerous turn. Juno had pushed Naruto to his limits, urging him to access more of the nine tails' chakra. In a moment of lost control, Naruto transformed, red chakra enveloping him as he entered a five-tailed state and began to grow bones. Naruto, get a hold of yourself! Juno knew that he would have to access Sage Mode to keep up with Naruto's form. Either that or use his Sharingan. But Juno was no fool. He knew any time that he used his Mangekyo Sharingan, which he would be doing as he didn't ever want to underestimate the power of the Nine Tails, the thing that had taken out his own older brother, who he believed to be above any shinobi. But he also knew that overuse of the Mangekyo Sharingan would lead to blindness. With that being said, it was just then that he made the on-the-fly decision to enter Sage Mode, as his eyes then turned a green hue, and his hair flared up, turning red. He never got his moniker of the Red Fang from his Sharingan. It was from his Sage Mode. With that being said, this is where I'm going to end part 1. I hope you guys all enjoyed. This was one of those videos that I had to pump out, and that I'm just trying to get back in the groove of things from taking a short break. So it was a little hard. I know I said a lot, probably a lot, and did my thing, but yeah. Anyways, make sure to hit the like and subscribe button. Share the video to a friend who likes videos or anime content in general. Genuinely subscribe. Trying to get to 30k soon, or to 30k. Comment down below your thoughts and feelings about the video, or just what are suggestions. With that being said, I am signing off. This has been Rami X. And out.